One of the most powerful things I do as a father doesn't cost a dime, takes about an hour a year, and builds on an incredible legacy of love that your children will cherish for decades to come. Hi, friends. Welcome to the Coggins Fam. Well, we're about purposefully raising our kids, slowing down as a family, and savoring the season we're in. Let's jump in. One of the most powerful things I do as a father, it's writing a letter to them on Father's Day. It's something that was introduced to me by someone very special, and I think it's something that you should try too. It's always been interesting to me how impactful traditions can be. This whole letter writing thing didn't actually begin by accident. That first year that I was married to my wife, Brittany, her father actually, who'd been giving his daughters letters for years, gave me one. See, I always thought Father's Day was about children honoring their parents, not the other way around. But receiving that letter filled with words of encouragement and life and validation was incredibly impactful. I knew that when I had kids, just a year later, that I was going to do the same thing for them, that I was going to write a letter to them each Father's Day that spoke words of love and encouragement and validation and just gave them a sense of what it was like to be their dad at that period in time. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Letters? Isn't that a little bit old school? Who writes letters anymore? In a world that's filled with things that disappear in a flash, I think the permanence that a heartfelt, tangible letter has is something incredibly important. And by the way, you can write this by hand or you can type it, but it's something that is given to your kids every year. I recently read The Blessing by Smalley and Trent, and it reinforced something really important for me. They actually define the family blessing a father can give as something involving meaningful touch, a spoken message, attaching high value, picturing a special future, and an active commitment to fulfill that blessing. Through these letters, I'm able to deliver a spoken message that attaches high value to my girls and my son now, and paints a picture of the special future that can be theirs. Life gets so hectic, right? These letters become a dedicated space to say, I love you, and you're seen, and you're valued. As Smalley and Trent said, and it gave me chills the first time I read this. For a child in search of a blessing, the major thing that silence communicates is confusion. And that struck me because something that I don't want to do as a dad is to sow confusion out of silence in my kid's life. And for anyone that knows me, you know that I value introspection and reflection. And this is yet another opportunity to sit down, even if it's for an hour, and reflect on the last year and reflect on what your children have meant to you. In a way that really sees who they are and who they're becoming. It helps us put into words what we love and value about them. Plus, and something that I've found recently to be incredibly important, it's an opportunity to show emotional openness, something that as fathers we have to emulate and show our kids how to do. And that in and of itself has a lasting impact. All right, so I know one of the things you may be thinking is, that sounds great, but I'm no writer, or what on earth would I even say? So here's how you might go about it. The first thing is just find a moment where you can truly have some quiet, where you can reflect and you can become a little introspective on your relationship with your children. Here's actually a couple ideas of what you can write about. The first is just explain and express how much you love them. You know, it can be in this season right now, or it can be things that you have loved about them their entire life. The next thing you might be able to do is share an experience that you had together. Maybe it was a really impactful or meaningful experience. Maybe it was a coming of age experience that you had with your children, and you want to reflect on that and call that out so that they can remember that years into the future. Maybe you want to mention a quality that you admire about them, something about their character, their love for others, their sincerity, their openness, or their honesty. It's the things that you really want to encourage them in as an aspect of who they truly are. Maybe you could share about what your hopes are for their future. For you dads out there who are praying dads and who are the spiritual leaders of your household, maybe it's a simple prayer over their life or their next year. If you're struggling to find something, look back over your pictures from the last year and those moments that you've had together as a family. And lastly, the delivery. You can give this to them Father's Day morning. Some of you, if you have young kids, right, and can't read, you're probably going to want to read this to them. They may not remember it, but I think you'd be surprised how much those words and those words of life may have an impact on them, even if they're young. So this Father's Day, I'm challenging you. Give it a shot. What do you have to lose? I genuinely believe this can be as awesome as it's been for my family and my father-in-law's family. What traditions do you have with your kids? I'd love to hear some of those in the comments. If you believe in slow, intentional family life, stick around. And if this video resonated with you, give it a like or maybe subscribe for more videos on intentional parenting and family life. These letters are building an important legacy, just one letter at a time. A legacy that says you're valued, you're loved, and you are so important to me. And as dads, that's one of the best blessings that we can give. So I think you might like this tradition. Give it a try this year.